Well, we are now joined by Wayne Hawkes to talk about Pyrois. And Wayne, always great to catch up with you, and even better to talk about this $1.2 million colt. Is he worth every cent?
You got me smiling already. You know what? Let's go back to Magic Millions sales, and I clearly. Let me go back one step further. No one's ever bought a bad horse out of the yearling sales. I will say that right off the bat. But when you go to a yearling sale, what you want and what you end up with can be so far apart. So when you go to a sale and you actually buy the ones that you want, including this horse, it's a big tick because it's a draft pick. It doesn't matter whether you're Australian AFL, doesn't matter whether you're the NBL, doesn't matter whether you're Manchester United. You need the right draft picks to fill your team, and we are no different. And it starts with us at the yearling sale. So wasn't cheap. You got to pay for quality, and I can clearly remember him the first time I saw him at the sale, and every time I went back and looked at him, and it was about 4 or 5 times. He just looked better and better every time, because the biggest thing you have to do is look at their attitude, because it's tough at a yearling sale. And he handled it in flying colours.
Wayne, it's good to hear that, because we know you've had so much success with colts all the time, and even stallion prospects as well. What was it that made you go back 4 or 5 times to look at him? What really caught the eye?
The first time, realistically, a trainer looks at a horse is actually looking at the pedigree, but we actually like to go the other way and theoretically look at the horse first. And you know what? I'm a very well-bred individual with my father and my family, but it doesn't mean to say that I can run or I can train. Just putting that out there for everybody to know that. I'd make a lot of money, but I can't run.
All right. Well, that's a good point. Are we confident that he's going to be able to run?
Right. There's very few athletes in this world, and I'm being serious now, that don't look athletic. It wouldn't matter what sport you think of. Most of the number ones just ooze athleticism and class. And it's really no different. When you go to the big races anywhere in the world, you stand in the mountain enclosure as a horse trainer like I do. I don't know the form overseas. So I look at the individual, and when you get to the great races, most of the horses in the races look like they deserve to be there. So it's all right to have the looks. You've got to have the class and the ability. He's already started to show us some ability. We haven't pushed him because he hasn't been ready. Pre-Christmas, I would be a big push to have no 2-year-old racing pre-Christmas if it was my doing, but we have races like Magic Millions and that sort of stuff, and people just want to push. But one thing we don't do in our stable is pre-Christmas, you'll only ever see a horse there if it can go the races and it can win. So there's a tip in itself. You see one of ours running pre-Christmas, you know it's going to run pretty good. This bloke has taken a little bit of time to come right. Like, to be fair, we've only had him 9 months. So he's done a hell of a lot in 9 months of getting broken in and going through the process. And the process is as much about him learning from us is us learning from him. So he's handled everything really well.
We love to hear that you are being patient with these horses and there is no rush. Tell us, obviously, as you said, a little bit immature, but what have you liked about the way that he's handled himself around the stable?
Attitude. You'd much rather have a horse with less ability and more attitude, because it's no different to a human. You can have a human that can promise you the world and deliver you an atlas. And to be honest, it's exactly the same thing with the horse. So attitude is, probably 50% attitude, 50% ability, but I'd probably rather have 60% attitude and 40% ability, because the attitude will always, pull you further than dynamite will throw you with a racehorse. So the attitude is the key thing. And when you got a colt, they can be good today and just go the opposite way, because boys are boys, whether it be horses or humans. We are all the same. So the end result with it all is that you're looking at a big, strong colt, and even though they're babies, theoretically they're 18-year-old boys that are, front and center, ready to crack. And in a human terms, that's what they like. They're big, they're strong, they're manly. Mentally, they're not quite there, but physically, they're young men.
Wayne, we have a few shares still left. $220 for 0.01%.
That's their loss.
I was going to say, so from what you've seen at home, should people be diving in? Are they going to have a bit of fun with this guy?
Look, there's never a guarantee with a racehorse and everything like that. But you know what? with this horse's class and his pedigree and everything, we don't have to shoot the lights out here. You've only got to be quite a pretty handy horse, and you could be certainly worth big bucks at stud for what they pay these days. But not putting anything ahead of itself. We got to get going and get into the races. But you know what? If I didn't like something, I wouldn't be pushing it. But I have no issue and no hesitation. Adam's mother said to me, shall I buy one? Absolutely. Adam's mum, you go ahead and buy one.
Beautiful. There you go. Straight from the mouth. We'll be buying into Pyro. Wayne, really appreciate your time joining us here.
Thanks, guys. And you know what? I'm actually waiting for him to come back into work. He's only a week or so off coming back into work. And with a bit of luck, we're going to go roll through and just see how far he goes his preparation, because he's educated, Adam. And now we just need to see whether he's going to stand up to a racing preparation. But all signs are looking pretty good.